Hey guys, it's me, Steve, Cliff Anchi Chevrolet. Today, we're here to talk about two things today. One, I want to update you guys what's going on in our auto industry. I'm mostly going to discuss what's going on in the GM landscape, but I will talk a little bit about what I think is going across the auto industry and kind of the world right now. Then we're going to get into talking about what all is coming in on the pipe for Chevrolet. So why don't you buckle in? Let's go for a ride. Hey guys, my name's Steve Jacobson. I'm a sales associate with Cliff Anchi Chevrolet. As you guys might have heard, there's a little bit of an inventory problem going on within the General Motors world. So it's becoming increasingly difficult for me to record videos of newer products and doing the walk around. So what I thought I'd do today is talk about what's going on in the industry for so many of us salespeople, I think it has a little bigger ramifications than just the auto industry. And then, of course, we'll talk about what Chevrolet has rumored and coming in on the pipe. So let's talk about what's going on right now, the inventory. As you've heard by now, there is a semiconductor, superconductor, microchip that's used in so many of the vehicles in the Chevrolet lineup. But this chip has slowed down all of our production. And as you can see, if you're paying attention, a lot of rolling layoffs in the GM Auto factory, and they're strategically shutting down different lines, and it's just causing chaos. It's not only affected the new car industry, but dealers like the one I work at. Since we know we're not having as many new cars on our lot, we have to sell something, right? So the main thing that we're doing right now is our used car manager, whose name's Cody. One of the main ways we're supplementing our inventory right now are vehicles that he's purchasing on the auction. I'm going to level with you guys. I mean, admittedly, I'm biased in this. We have one of the, if not the best used car lots in northern Michigan right now. Cody spent a lot of time and effort in buying cars. We have Blazers, Trailblazers, Silverados, Tahoes, Suburbans. We have cars. We have Equinoxes, Traverses. So he's done a really good job of not only supplementing the Chevrolet lineup, but we had a couple Dodges. We have a 300. So we just have a really neat mix of used vehicles on our lot. And I think that really gives us a really distinct advantage to a lot of other people in our area. But that shortage, it's created this demand of used vehicles. That demand with such a limited supply has really inflated the used car market. So you're just seeing a lot of cars that, 3 or 4 months ago have really increased $3,000 to $5,000. I know we just had an Equinox that we saw that went for $2,000 above to buy it. What we had it marked for on the lot. It's a mess. So what does this mean for you? So my honest opinion is I don't see this fixing anything anytime soon, because even once they get the chips, supposedly they're going to have the chips rectified toward the end of the year, or at least starting to figure some type of better supply chain out. The larger problem is that even when people who like to buy used cars for every 1 or 2 years, and even us that like to have, 2018s, 2019s, right now we're having a real hard time. We're selling 2021 model years, right? We're having a heck of a time finding 2019s to bring on the lot. And I can see this trend since 2020, we had COVID. I guess we still have COVID, but we have this shortage now in supply. It's going to really cause the used market to be super competitive over the next couple of years. I guess the bad news is I don't see the pricing coming down, nor the demand. What that does in the meantime is if you are looking to move out of a vehicle, now's a great time because you're going to be getting maybe more for it than you would have a couple months ago. The problem is what you're going to go into. So if you know what you want to buy, it's kind of like the housing industry here is in northern Michigan. You really don't want to leave your house unless you know you have one coming down, just because there is such low supply and high demand. So we're going to talk about rumors. First of all, I'm going to be using GM Authority, Motor Trend, and then of course just the GM or Chevrolet website itself. Let's talk about where the biggest trend in the industry you're hearing about right now in General Motors, and I think overall is no surprise, it's the EV market. We know that GM has the Hummer that they are really excited about, that they plan on rolling out over the next couple of years. They have the truck, and then of course that SUV that you see they're really pressing on around a lot. We know that General Motors has made a new Ultium platform. So 2023, we know that General Motors announced last week that they want an electric Silverado with over 400 miles of range, which sounds fantastic. How it works in practicality, I don't know. So far, most of these electric vehicles are being made at that new Hamtramck plant. factory zero where they're making so many of their EVs. And then lastly, at Valentine's Day, we saw that General Motors or Chevrolet announced that they're redoing the Bolt. Not only is the Bolt getting a redesign, but they're also having the Bolt EUV, which I know we just recently ordered at our dealer. So the EUV, as you know by now, is going to be an SUV version of the Bolt. So lots of exciting things coming down that General Motors just announced themselves. And along with that Silverado, we do know, let's talk about some of the rumors for the next year. The Silverado ZR-2. Now, those of you that know about the ZR-2 certainly isn't new in the General Motors Chevrolet world. We have the ZR-2 Colorado, which is obviously one of the best from the factory to the showroom floor off-road vehicles on the market. Two of my favorite things that you find on that ZR-2 is one, you're able to lock out those front hubs, and then of course also the suspension on it. So that Colorado has that dynamic spool suspension valve, which kind of acts as this like hydraulic chamber that reacts to the amount of pressure that's put onto it, and it really gives a different feel of suspension compared to that electromagnetic suspension that you saw in the ZL1 Camaros, Tahoe Suburban, and you see it on the higher end vehicles. This ZR-2 Silverado is rumored to hopefully have that suspension. I have no idea the looks. As you can see, I'll show a couple of the renderings that you see out there, but the ZR-2 Silverado, whenever it comes out, hopefully this next year will be sweet. We've talked about the electric things. We've talked about the Silverado. Let's now talk about one of my favorite vehicles in the Chevrolet lineup, the C8. So, as you remember, the old Z-06 and the C7 was a supercharged V8 on that 6.2. I have no idea what they're going to do on that, but it's safe to say that well over 650 horsepower. Here's hoping that we can see something like that out of the new C8 Z-06. There's even a rumor that after the Z-06, we're going to see a ZR-1. Again, I have no idea whether that's going to happen. But either way, now that we're starting to see a little more C8s regularly come in, the idea of the Z-06 and the ZR-1 is super exciting for those people looking for that super horsepower charged up C8. Lastly, if you do a little quick Google search, you'll see that Equinox and Traverse for 2022 are getting a little bit of a refresh along with Silverado. The refresh comes at an interesting time, like I said, with all these inventory issues we're having, but the Traverse mock-ups that I've seen so far look fantastic. Still got that wide grille. It's changed a little bit of the headlights, but inside, still looking great for all that space that you're seeing. For the mid-sized SUV market, nothing beats the Chevy Traverse. We have the most space, and honestly, in today's world, I can't tell you how many times I've had people come to me and say, I just love the amount of space that I'm able to put for my family, my kids, and my cargo with the Chevy Traverse. Equinox looks a little sporty. I've heard well, not forever, but for a while now, I've heard that we're going to have an RS Equinox, and hopefully we'll see that here in 2022. The Equinox looks a little sporty, taking some cues from the Trailblazer to really give it a little bit of a fresher, more sportier edge that I think the Equinox desperately needed. Those of you who don't know, we're not seeing that 2.0 engine in the Equinox right now. We're seeing just that 1.5 turbocharged, which has disappointed some people, but for the most part, it just kind of is what it is. One other thing about the Silverado, supposedly kind of keeping up with the Joneses, they're supposed to redo the center stack column that's in Chevy Silverado, and I'm hoping that within, as we talk about the Traverse and Equinox coming up here, that you'll see the update. We already know that General Motors and Chevrolet has the best cameras in the business for the HD screen, but hopefully we'll continue to, I think it's fair to say that Chevrolet errs on the side of caution with their interiors. In the war to have the biggest screen on the market, we've already seen the new F-150, it's got a bigger screen. That Dodge Ram's got a huge screen with 12 inches that goes up and down right through the center stack. Something that has been lacking in the Silverado, even though the ease of use with the new generation modeling is one of my favorite things, along with that wireless Apple CarPlay. Interesting to see what all new General Motors and Chevrolet has planned for the upcoming month. Well, that's my rumors. As you see, we have lots coming out. Electric vehicles, ZR-2 Silverado, Z-06 Corvette, and of course with a refresh to the Traverse and the Equinox. Hopefully over the next couple weeks, we'll get back to walk-arounds of cars. Like I said, I have that high country video I'm working on. And then as we get a couple more, I know my best friend, Brad, ordered a Colorado, wanted to do a walk around that before he picks that up. So I do have some stuff planned out, just needed to come on in. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you like this video, do me a favor right now, hit the thumbs up button. Go ahead, do me a favor and comment below and tell me what you are most excited about or what rumors you've heard of that are hoping are coming out in the Chevrolet world over the next couple months or even the year. And if you wanted to see the walk-arounds that are coming out for the High Country, Silverado, Colorado, and whatever else we get in, and knock on wood, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified of the next one that comes out. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Talk to you soon.